Well, my experience with Don Gilberto Bosques has been one of the highlights in my life, because it's due to him that we all could come together to Mexico. In the year 1942, my brother and I were living in a sort of a children's, it was a castle, but actually it was for children, about 300 children, Jewish mostly, living there during the war.
Where?
In France, in a small central department, which is not very well known. It's mostly agricultural. It's called La Creuse. But there was this group of Austrian Jews who came together to France, illegally of course, or through Switzerland. I don't know how they did it, but that was what they did. But soon they were discovered in Paris, and the men were sent away to I don't know why, but it was a British camp in Saint-Malo, the French coast. And when the Germans arrived in Paris, the women took off and went from town to town to find a place where to stay. And when the Germans were getting closer and closer, the British just left the camp and went back to England and left everything there. So the men, the prisoners took, it wasn't just the Austrians, but this group were kept together. They took a motor car they had, and they went looking for the wives. So finally they found them in Montauban in terrible conditions. They couldn't work and they could hardly find things to eat and whatnot. But as soon as they got there, well, they did all kinds of jobs just to survive. But meanwhile, looking for a way to get away from France. And they heard that there was a Mexican consul in Marseille who was helping people. So a few of them went to Marseille to try and talk to him. I don't know how long it took him, but he saw them. And each family, each father of a family talked to him in private, and they were granted visas. And we were the biggest family, so we had more trouble, but finally he gave us the visa. There was never a question of money. It was on his own free will. I don't think he had the authorization of the Mexican government, but still the visas were valid because he was a consul. And that's how we saved our lives and came to Mexico.
Do you think he risked his life?
Pardon?
Do you think he risked his life? He did it on the risk of his life?
Oh, certainly, yes. It was not just us Jews he saved. He mostly saved Spanish people who lost the war, the civil war in Spain, and they were put into a camp. That I heard from Spaniards themselves. They were put into a camp in France, and he went, risking his own life, to talk, to free these people, to talk about. The French were more on the Nazi side than either Jews or Spaniards, no? But I heard that the Gestapo almost caught him, but he was lucky to get away with his life. Or I think being a consul, it made them a little bit more careful not to just kill him. But it really took a lot of bravery to do that.